So in the meantime, the prerequisite for this course is having a Microsoft Excel on your laptop or computer. I hope everybody has some version of Excel. If you don't, what you can do is you can go to office.com and you can sign in with a Microsoft account. On office.com, you can use Excel for free. So this is going to be more of a hands-on kind of a exercise. So I suggest that you should have Excel on your laptop. So I'm just logging in with my Microsoft account. Okay, so in the meantime, if you don't have Excel, you can go to office.com and I'm posting a link of the data that you need for this exercise. So just download that data and just download that data and you can upload it on Excel from here, from using this option upload and open, and you can just do. So just a brief introduction of this course. This is a hands-on exercise on Excel. We are going to go through some basic tools that are used for conducting data analysis and insights on any set of data. This is mostly used for early stage analysis in most corporate offices, and whatever to cover today, I think most of you who have Excel, you through the steps, and there will be some exercises for you as well. So just tag along with me. So we'll be beginning in a minute. So in the meantime, the data that you have downloaded should look something like this. Just let me know. I think there are about 15 columns in this, and if I'm not wrong, about 1,13,000 rows. Okay, cool. I'll just close this. So this is our data. Right. So we have 15 rows, I think. And yeah, I mean, right, 15 rows, and we have about 1 lakh. We have 15 columns and 1 lakh rows. So what this data is about? It's about, I think, there are some products. There are some products such as accessories, bikes, clothing. 3 kinds of products are there, and their yearly cost and revenue along with the unit prices are 4 years, I think. And you have the dates of those sales, and you have the customer gender, you have the country, you have the state of the country, and you have the subcategories. So in the accessories, there are bike racks, there are, I think, definitely more sort of things. And then you have further details of those things in the product. So product category is sort of a broad category as far as we can see. And then you have order quantities, and then you have the final revenue, which the product when being sold made for the company. So you have to conduct an analysis of what the results look like. So starting off with Excel tables. Now, the first step towards any analysis is converting our data to an Excel table. Now, what is an Excel table? This, what you're saying, is a normal table. An Excel table allows you for am I audible? Am I still audible? I'm getting messages that I'm not audible. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, got it. So you have, so this is a normal Excel table, like I was saying. And if you have to convert this into an Excel table, all you have to do is Control A and then insert, and just do this into a table. So once you do that, you'll see something like this. So this is a basic transformation that happens on the table. It doesn't change anything about the data. What it does is just adds more functionality to your data set. So, for example, what you can do is just let me know if you're all able to convert this into a table. Then we can go ahead. Right. So you just select the entire data, go to insert, and click this table option, and the entire data set becomes something like a banded row sort of a thing. Okay. So what an Excel table essentially is, it gives you easy way for quick summaries of any data. It helps you in referencing this for pivot tables, something that we'll cover in the later part of this course. And it helps you in aggregating column level details. So when you have this Excel table in front of you, buttons here. So if you want any filtering to be done on the data to see a smaller part of the data, then you can just click this. Let's go to a country. Let's see if I want to. So you have all the countries here. Just unselect, select all, and just go to Germany. And there you have all the data for Germany in front of you. And let's say if you have to change, if you have to just see what your accessories were doing for you, then you can see just the accessories, and you have all the data for all the data for accessories here in front of you. Another shortcut that happens is so I hope you know the basic keyboard shortcuts for this. If you don't, I'll just go down, and you can see all the accessories sold in Germany in all the time the data has covered. So if you just go to the top again, control down, and you can just select all. Sorry, don't select all. Just go to the table design here in the top. There's a so once you have converted the table into an Excel table, you will get a different option here, table design, and just add a total row here. So if you add a total row here, what you can do is if you go down, you'll see there's an option called total here. So what it does is if you want total accessories cost that we incurred in, let's say, the year 2016. So I'll just go to 2016. I'll filter it. I have Germany here already. So I already have a filter of Germany here, and I have accessories here. So I can just go down and I can just select the cost, and I can just do a basic sum. So if I double click this row, I see the sum is 1,90,827 rupees. I think this is in dollars, so $190,000. Yes. So just for a recap, you can just in the table design segment, there's a total row button which you can use for to get this total row. I think this lecture is being recorded, so I think it should be available. I'm not sure. Uh, how to get the numeric value of sum? So numeric value of sum as in, it's not giving exponential. If it's giving you an exponential, I'm talking to Robin. If it's giving you exponential, you just have to expand the row. Just expand it like this, it will just come. So that's just a row width issue. Yeah. Cool. So if you are not, so I'm getting messages saying that the total row is sort of grayed out. That's not a problem. It's just a functionality that I was telling you. So it's not really that big a deal. We won't be using this as we move forward. So I have removed the total row for you. And let's see, and we can remove all the filters again. So here you have, I had taken 3 filters, I guess. So I'll just remove those filters. And what else? Accessories, right? Yeah. So yeah, we have the entire data. If you want to check the entire data, if it's still with you, you can just see the select all the rows, which is Control Shift and down arrow key will select all the rows, and you can look at the count here, which is 1,13,000. So that's the entire data. Coming back, so once you go to the table design and you have converted this into an Excel table, there is just there's a place called table name. Now it's named table one. You can change it to something else. Let's call it my data. So the reason I'm doing this is because, and it's not case sensitive. So whatever you write, just remember the name. You don't have to remember what were the capital and the small parts. So just I'm changing the name of this data. What this will help us is in referencing this table later when we are going to create our analysis. Uh, to those of you who couldn't follow, I'll just tell it again. Just select the entire data and go to insert and click table, and you will get the Excel table in front of you. And in table design, you can go and rename the table. Fine. So all good so far. So pivot tables, right? So once we get started with any analysis, so what essentially an analysis is it's the variance of our critical columns. So let's say cost and revenue are sort of our critical columns, and it's the variance of these columns with respect to the features that we have here: country, state, product kind, subcategories, sort of the ages of the people who have. And let's say if you want to see the entire year over year progression of our revenues, then the year definitely. So all those things come as a part of it's a factor analysis sort of a thing. So for that you need a pivot table. Now what essentially a pivot table is, it's it's quite an important tool when it comes to reporting and analysis. It checks aggregate values against any set of parameters from the data. So it answers questions like, let's say you have the question like, what is the total revenue generated by all the states of the United States in 2016, right? So I'll just do a quick walkthrough. So I open another sheet here. So we leave the data as Excel table here, and then we move to another sheet. So, right. Right. So here in another sheet, what we are going to do is we are going to create some pivot tables for our analysis, which will some table I'll be creating by myself, and I'll be asking you to create some for yourself as well. So the question that you were asking is, what is the total revenue generated by all the states in United States in 2016? So it's just a sample question. Let's go. So here you have a new sheet. You just click on insert, and then you see pivot tables. You just click on pivot table, and it asks for a table or range. Uh, Here you can just put my data, the name that I gave before, and immediately you'll see that on the right side, you'll get all the columns here of your data. And you have these sort of 4 different segments. Uh, just let me know if once you guys are at this stage, then we'll go forward. Cool. Right. So, yeah, so I'm seeing some progress here. That's great. Right. So the question that was asked was, what is the total revenue generated by all the states in the United States in 2016? Um So you have these 4 things. These are called fields. Now, what are fields? Fields are basically the different components of a pivot table. Pivot table is, I'll just show you an example. So the question was the total revenue. So I need the revenue, right? So I just take this revenue, I just take this revenue and drag it to values. So so values are the ultimate thing I'm looking for. So the question was, what is the revenue? So I just need the sum of revenue. So I already grabbed the sum of revenue. It says location not valid. Uh, I'm not sure, Anurag. What do you mean? Just a second. Okay, fine. I think some people have joined late. They need the data once again. I'll just share the link for the data once again. Yeah. So we have the revenue here, and so the question was, what was all the states, right, in the United States? So we need a country filter here. We need the this is the total for exactly. This is the total revenue for all the countries in all the time. This is basically the sum of the revenue column. Exactly. So once you drag the country to the rows field, that will split the sum. If you're not able to open the pivot table, I'll suggest another approach. Just do Control A and press Alt plus N plus V. So you'll get a pivot table already. And you can just click OK and just opens it in a new worksheet. Just make sure you have selected this option of new worksheet. That does it for you. I'm just posting the shortcut here so that everyone just follows. It's Alt plus N plus V. You can just press everything in sequence. You don't have to press it all together. Okay, so coming back. So we have a pivot table saying this thing. The revenues have been split by all the countries. And we wanted specifically for 2016. So we'll put a filter of 2016. So it says currently all. That means all the time that is covered in the table. I'll just click on 2016 and select OK. And this is just the revenue for 2016. But the question was, tell me all the states. So if I drag the state into the pivot table rows again, so you can have multiple rows, you can have multiple values here. So if you drag the states, you can see all the countries and their subsequent states are coming in the revenue. So you have the total revenue of Australia here and the state-wise revenue here. And the filter of 2016 is already there. So this is the total revenue of Australia in 2016, and this is the state-wise split of the revenue. Any questions? Okay. So if just make sure that you enter the year in the filter and you enter country and state in the rows. So the value in row 10 is the total for Canada. Row 10. Yeah, this 1663400 is the total revenue for Canada in 2016. Yes. So if you're not able to create this pivot table, I'll just reiterate the whole thing. Just select the entire table and press Alt and V, and you can find. Yes, you can find. So yes, I'm just so Suraj has asked if we can find average revenue or any other means of measurement. Exactly. So what you can do is, so let's say I like if I want to find the average revenue, just click on sum of revenue. Just go to value field settings, and you can find all the functionalities here. So if you want the average, just click on average and have a look at this. This is the average revenue in 2016 for the state and the subsequent for the country. Also, we had asked only for the United States revenue, so we'll just shift the country from rows to filter, and the table becomes something like this. And I just change the country to United States only. The filter changes, and I just get it for all the states. And since we wanted the sum of revenue, so I'll just change this to sum. And we have the sum of all the revenue of 2016 in United States split by state-wise. Let me know if you guys follow this. So the column field, right? So I'm coming to that. Just let me know if you are if you followed this. So so when you have to, so let's say I want to see the revenue for all the years in for all the states. So I just had 2016 here. If I do it all, I just get the sum. But what if I want to see all the years here? So I can just shift year from filters to columns, and there you go. You have the split of all the revenues in all the subsequent years, split by year, and you have the total year. So if you want, you can do this for the entire data as well. So I can just switch the country here, and I can have all the country and all their states. If I want to collapse this, I want to see a sort of a hierarchy in the data. So just right click the Australia or any other country that you're saying, and you can just click expand collapse, and then collapse the entire field. So you have the aggregate data of all the country in all the years, and then you can just click a plus, and you can see the states, and you can just again click minus and do that. So Sonam is asking if you want any data date-wise. In that case, the fields appear in rows. Fields comes with the year, quarter, or month. How do you get it in days format? So the format can be changed. So if you want the date, so this is just the year column. You already have a date. The thing is that if I put date in the rows, this becomes too big a data to manage. So for example, I already have let's say if you look at the number of fields that I have, there are too many fields here. So if you can't really get the entire you won't be able to process anything out if you take all the dates as a single row. So what you can do is you can take the month outside of this date, and you can aggregate this on a monthly level. That is still a small thing. Right. So Robin is asking how to hide the country states again. Right. So I think so. You are seeing a data something like this. Just go on country, right click this, expand and collapse. You'll be seeing an option of expand and collapse. Just collapse the entire field. So in this way, you look at this. Right. So let's go forward. So there's a. So I'll ask a couple of questions to you. So let's say I want to see in my data. Apart from countries, I also have different product categories, right? So how many product categories do we? We have 3 product categories: accessories, bikes, and clothing. So if you want to see the year-wise revenue split between all the product categories, how would you do so? Using a pivot table. Also, one important point: if you have to make a new pivot table, you just click on pivot table again here. Just click outside. Just click outside the current pivot table, click anywhere, and just click on pivot table here in insert column, and just tap my data. So you will get another pivot table same as before, and you can just, so for every pivot table you will have to reference it to the main data source. So Sneha is asking what is the exact functionality of the values in columns table. So values gives you the aggregate of whatever thing that you're looking at. If I'm looking at cost, values will give me a sum of all the cost. If I'm looking at revenue, if I want the average, the values mean average of all the revenue, let's say. So whatever column I put here, it will do some operation, addition, subtraction, averaging out, standard deviation, variance. Those sorts of things will come in values. Rows and filters are rows, filters, and columns give all the different values of a variable. So if I'm putting year in columns, all the different values of years come in columns. So 2011 to 2016, all the values are here. So that is the difference between columns, filters, and so by filter you can regulate the entire table just towards a single thing. So there shouldn't be a date filter; it's just too much. So I'll just remove this filter. I'll just put, let's say, product category. So if product category is there, I want to see, I can just change this to accessories, and this is the revenue for accessories in all the years. So for 2011 and 2012, there weren't any accessories sold in any other country. So that's why you're not seeing that data. So how do you delete the pivot table? That's simple. You just drag out all the columns that you have. So let's say if I have state, I just keep removing everything and the pivot table slowly disappears. I think, yeah. And this is Okay, so I don't know what's happening here, but yeah. So this is like you can also select all and delete the pivot table directly. Right. So, oh, this, right. So let's do the product wise distribution of revenue in every year, and simultaneously we'll go on and we'll make we'll make sets of like 5 or 6 pivot tables, and we'll start analysis from there. So the first question is, how do you? I'm just posting the question for you guys to. What's the revenue split year wise for all product categories? So if any one of you has done it, just let me know. So I'll just solve it for you in a couple of minutes. Just take some time. No, there is no country wise. Just product wise. Country wise, we'll do it later. Okay, so the question I'll once again tell you, what is the year-wise revenue split between all the product categories for all the years? So for those of you who have done it, let's just proceed with it. So I already have a pivot table here. Uh, I'll drag, we wanted the product categories. So whatever we want here comes in the rows. So we already have the product categories here. Then we want the year we want the revenue for each year. So that goes in the column. And then we'll just do a basic sum of revenue here. So this is the pivot table that you're looking at. If you want a subcategory analysis of this as well, you can just drag subcategory in the rows below product category. So whatever order of variables is there in the rows segment, then that same order is followed in the pivot table here. So you should keep subcategory below product category because every product has its own categories. So that'll be easy for you to manage. So if I collapse entire field, I can just have a look at bikes. Let's say I have 3 kinds of bikes, so I can see all the revenue for that. Right. So let me know if your results and my results match, then we can go forward. Cool, that's great. Right. So we have, okay, cool. Anurag, if you haven't been able to make a pivot table, just go to the data. It doesn't matter if it's an Excel table or not. Just press Control A and then press Alt N V. In that case, just you'll get it here. Control A and Alt N V. Yeah. Okay. So the next question is, So the questions that I'll be asking is basically for a better understanding of the data so that we can proceed towards dashboarding. So if you have a data of something like this and what insights you have to convey to, let's say, your manager or your boss. So if you have to make a comprehensive summary of the data, that takes a bit of steps. And mostly it involves a lot of pivot tables and charts. So we already have created one pivot table. So let's just keep it here. Also, one more exercise that whenever we are making a pivot table, just go to, you'll always see there are two options here. It's this pivot table analyze and there's a design sort of a thing. So if you go here, you can just name your pivot table. So that will be easier for you later. So if I name my pivot table here, it's called, let's say this is product category wise revenue, right? So prod versus rev, let's say I've just named it. So that will help me later. So, okay, the second question is, it's actually the same as the previous one. So I'll just skip it, but let's all just make that table. So what's the revenue split between all the countries in all the years? So it's basically instead of the products, you want countries here and the same, the years and the revenue splits here. So let's just do that. So I'll just go click here and I'll insert a pivot table. And need the country here, I need the year in columns, and I need a revenue here. So I have all the thing, and I can add state inside, and then I can collapse. So states are just for my reference. You can also add states; it will help you for analysis later. So you can just collapse all the fields, and you have your second pivot table. Let me know if you guys have got it. Then we can move forward with some other tables as well. Okay, so okay, few people have got it. So let's proceed. So the second question is, let's make a table of, and let's rename this to. Don't forget to rename. So you have pivot table 3 here in pivot table analyze. So just this is country wise, right? So country versus revenue. Let's say. Just keep naming whatever you want. That is better for your own reference. Then let's make a third pivot table. The question is, what is the annual profit? So if you go towards the data, you won't see any column called profit. There's revenue, there's cost. So I think every one of us knows what's profit. It's revenue minus cost. So let's just create a new column called profit. And this will be equal to your O2, which is this cell 950 minus N2, which is this thing. You press enter, you will get all the profits here. Let me know if you have done it. Okay, so you have added a profit column here, which is revenue minus cost basically. And we'll also add one thing. We should be taking advantage of this age column. And since age is also a big range, I mean, I think it's extending from 17 all the way till 87. That's a big range to handle. So we'll sort of bucket it into age groups. So just go towards the customer age column and just right click it. So Hemant is asking how to add the profit. There's nothing. Just go click here, write profit, and just this is equal to O2 minus N2, and you just click enter, and I think everything gets auto-filled. So that is one of the functionalities of Excel table. So you don't have to drag the entire thing. So if this would have been a normal table, I would have to drag this 590 all the way down to fill all these values. But in Excel table, everything gets taken care of by itself. So coming back to the customer age. So just go here, right click the customer age, and press insert. So you will have another column here. Let's call it age group. So let me know if you've created this column. We have to use some formula here. Okay, so once you have this age group, you want to bucket these into ages. So let's have, since it's from 17 to 87, let's have I don't know, 4 groups. Let's do it uh, very young people, young adults, then adults, and then senior people. So how do you go about doing this? So just click on the first empty cell here and press equal to. So there is a function called if. If usually has a lot of uh, nested parentheses, so that's not required. What you can do is use a better function called ifs. Now with ifs, with ifs, you can go about applying all the classification without any problem of this thing, brackets. So let's just fill this thing. Okay, so this is ifs. So if my so the moment you type ifs, you can use the arrow keys to go to any cell. So I'm going to the right cell, which is E2. I'll just do it there. So it refers it at customer age. So that is basically the entire column. So you don't have to worry about that. So let's say if this is less than 25, just follow along with me. If this is less than 25, then the true value will be, let's say, youth, and in bracket we can specify less than 25 years of age. Then my second condition would be if again I use my right arrow key to go to the same cell. If this is less than, let's say, 35, then we'll call it young adults. Which is 25 to 35. Then our next condition would be, again, if this is less than 65, let's say 65. So we'll have adults, and adults are, let's say, how much? 35 we ended, right? So 35 to 65 years. Then last we have the senior citizens. So if this is greater than 60, this is less than 65. If this is greater than 64, let's say, we'll put it senior, that is greater than equal to 65. So if you do that, you already have, if you just press enter, all the categories will come right away. So you have all the ages sorted into buckets. You have broadly 4 buckets that you have created. Right. So I'll just share the formula here of ifs. So just copy paste this formula and you will get it. I think you should put one bracket. I missed a bracket before 65. So that's fine. That doesn't matter. So just a second. I think there's been a mistake. Senior. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'll just reshare the formula. I think this is right. So if I'm sharing the formula again. This is the correct formula. So let me know when you have these categories. If your if function doesn't work, then what you can do is you can write, if your if function doesn't work, then what you can do is you can write an if function. It's a bit lengthy, but it's, I'll just type it out. If that is equal to if, let's say, customer age is less than 25, then youth less than 25. Right, just okay. So for those people for whom ifs is not working, I'm just sharing the if condition. Just give me a minute here. I'm just writing it out. So just try this formula. For those people for whom if is not working, you can just use this. You can make the changes there. I sort of had to. There's a time crunch, so I typed it a bit fast. Sorry. So you can use this if function. I think that also works just fine. Right. So once we have this age group, we go back to the pivot table, and so if you click on this pivot table, the one that you made before, I think you won't see this age group here. So just right click on the pivot table and click refresh. And once you click refresh, you will find this age group. Let me know if that works. Same goes for this one as well. Just right click and just click refresh. Since every pivot table has its own reference to the main data, so you have to refresh each pivot table. Let me know once you've done it. Okay. Cool. So let's make. So for those of you for whom this has worked, just create a third pivot table. And get the age group wise distribution of revenue for each year. So it's the same thing. Instead of the countries here, you need the age groups. So the ifs function doesn't work because it's a functionality of Excel 2016 and above. I think for those of you for whom it's not working, that may be the reason that you have a older version with you. So that's why I said 2016 and above is the sort of a required function for this. If it's 2019, then I'm not sure why it's not working. It should ideally work. I also have 2019, I guess, but it's not working. But it is working on my system. In any case, you can use the if function. That works just the same way. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so once you have this, you need the revenue split by age groups. So the question is, what is the age group wise distribution of revenue for all the years? So you don't need any country in this. You need just the year and the age wise distribution, age group wise. I'm sorry. So let's just go ahead and make it. So this age group here, there's year in the columns, and then there's revenue here. So if you since you've refreshed this, you will also be seeing the profit column here, which you made. So this is the table that you should ideally be getting. So one thing that comes forward is that these rows are not in the right order. So if you have a look at it, this is adults first, then seniors, then young adults, and then youth. I think it's not even a correct reverse order. So what you can do is, it's not really a big deal, but what you can do is you can copy this and you can just paste it here. It's not really that big a deal. So you just paste it here. You can go to you can right click the data, you can sort it, custom sort, and in custom sort you can add a custom list here, and custom list you can just store, let's say, youth less than 25, then young adults 25 to 35, then adults 35 to 65, then senior. Basically, whatever text you have, just copy paste the same text, greater than equal to 65, and you can just click on add and just click OK, and just click on OK. And if you can just reselect this thing, you can just reselect the whole thing and click sort. Okay, there's some problem with this. This option normally comes right here. Let's just. Oh yeah, thanks for that. I think I need to. Okay, so just a second. I have to type this all over again, I guess. Okay, so there's youth, just less than 25. Then there's adults, that's 35 to Sorry, there's young adults. 25 to 35. There's adults. And then there's senior. 65. Okay. I think this is fine. If I click on this is okay. Okay, and if I sort this now, it's still not coming. I forgot to add the whole thing. Anyways, you can just add it as a list here, and that's not really that big a deal. But you can just add it as a list here, and in custom sort, and this is youth, young adults, senior adults. I think. Okay, so you can add this. I think that functionality is not working for some reason. It's really not that important, so we can move forward. But you can add it that way if you want a different. No, I think I forgot to add it once again. It's a sort of a time-taking exercise, and it's really not that important. So I guess we can move forward. Fine. So we have a age-wise distribution of these things. Then let's add a couple of pivot tables again, and then we can proceed to the visualizations. So you have, let's say, let's make a pivot table between the role, the entire revenue between countries, and let's have a table between countries and the product categories. So what's the revenue split between countries and product categories for any year? So if I say by any year, it means that you have to add the year as a filter. So let's go into a pivot table. So I'll again repeat the question. What's the product category wise revenue for all the countries in any year? So we have country here, we have the revenue here, and we need the product categories, right? So the product category is here, that becomes the columns. So these are my bikes sold, and then I add the year as a filter. So the filter essentially, if I click on any this thing, then I have the filter. This is the 2016 data for all the revenues that I had. Simultaneously, you can also add the states here in like you did here. So you can have the state-wise distribution of all the product categories as well. This one goes on and on. So right. So let me know if you have this table ready with you, and then we'll move ahead to the charts. So we are going to proceed to visualizations. We might need a couple of more pivot tables for our analysis ahead, but that depends on the time we have. I think we only have 1 hour left. So I'd rather proceed to how to create visualizations and effective dashboards. That will be a better exercise for you. I think pivot tables, there are infinite possibilities of whatever pivot tables you can draw. So. Right. So, okay. So I think people are getting their tables ready. So let's get ahead to charts. So we have the first pivot table here. Oh, we did not name these pivot tables. Make sure that you name these pivot tables as well. So just go to analyze and just do it age group table, and just do this as what you call country and product, right? Country versus product. Cool. So let's go to the first pivot table. We have all the data available here. So just if you go to hover over the pivot table analyze, you'll see an option of pivot chart, and you'll also see an option of recommended pivot charts. So if you're getting an error of pivot table not being able to overlap, what you can do is, let's say you're getting an error here, just right click on this row and press insert. Basically what a pivot table needs is space. So you need to add a couple of rows for the pivot table to get some space. So it usually happens because pivot tables definitely don't overlap. They reference different types of data, and they don't shift by themselves. So coming back, yes, we have this. So if you go to the pivot table analyze, you have a pivot chart. You click on this, and we have, let's say, this. So we have year-wise distribution of. If I click this one, I'm getting it here. So this is my first table that I get, and I'll just cut and paste this in another sheet for a better clarity. So let's say I create a sheet. Let's rename this first sheet to our pivot sheet, and the second sheet we'll call as a dashboard. So once you make a new sheet, just before pasting that graph, what you can do is just go to view and remove the grid lines. That will make it cleaner and sort of gives it a better look once you add those graphs. So you can paste this here. Right. So one interesting thing that I forgot to share was if you make a chart from a pivot table, you can control the chart from the pivot table. So if I say, let's say do bikes, oh, it's not overlapping. Let's say if I create a chart here, let's say if I go to my fourth pivot table and I create a pivot chart here, this is country-wise bikes, right? So country-wise product. So let's see if we have line charts available. This is for year, right? So if you do it, let's say if you have here, and if you change this year from all to 2016, let's say, then the graph changes by itself. So it takes the data which is there in the pivot table. Whatever you see in the table gets reflected on the data. So once we get ahead, we can basically control the dashboard using these filters. Just to repeat, once you make a chart out of a pivot table, you can control the chart by changing the values of the pivot table. So let's go back a couple of steps and copy paste these graphs here. So don't worry, you can control the charts from here itself. So you can see the year here. If you want, you can select the year, whatever you want, and you can just do this, and you can have just for 2015. And if you want, you can just select 2016 and 2015, then you'll have it for both the years, and so on and so forth. If you want a product category, then you can just click on this thing and accessories. So it's very flexible with your whatever it is that you want. For a default case, I just keep it at all the checks. I remove all the filters. So that makes it easier for me to see what all factors are there in the chart. Right, so we have one pivot table chart here. Then let's go to the other one as well. We have the year-wise revenue. Let's make a chart out of this one as well. Let's create a line chart of this one. So we have a line chart. I just cut paste this to the dashboard again. I'll just paste it here below this one. So you have another chart here. Then just for the 4 pivot tables, just make whatever chart that you feel like is fine. Whatever you think best describes the the data that you have in front of you. Mostly it will be columns and lines, but we can play with it as per our requirements. So let's say if I want, if I take a pie chart of this one, so and you can get whatever you want out from the graph. So I'll just select all once again, and I'll just cut and paste this to my dashboard. So here I have another dashboard, another graph in my dashboard. So yeah, and simultaneously the fourth one which we made, it's cut paste this as well. So I have 4 graphs here. So since we are running on a time crunch, I think I'll cover it only from these 4 graphs perspective. Okay, moving on. So let me know if you have all the 4 charts ready. It doesn't matter what charts you're using, just as long as you have 4 charts which are coming from those 4 pivot tables. Just let me know if you. So there should be totally 4 graphs. If you have less, you just need a couple of charts from pivot table to follow whatever comes ahead. Right. So remove the grid lines. You can just go to, you can just click outside in any space outside the graph. Just go to view and click uncheck this grid lines thing. If I check it, then grid lines come back. If I uncheck it, they go away. So. Okay, I'm seeing that people are ready with all their charts. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes more before we can go ahead. So when it comes to a standard dashboard, the ones that you present in a company, it usually isn't recommended that you have all these buttons on the graph. That sort of, it's not a neat look. So firstly, what we'll do is we have the graphs. We'll first add titles to these graphs. So you click on a graph and you just go to format. So you go to design and you can click on add chart element and chart title and above chart. And let's say this is, what was this? Product wise, right? Product wise revenue. So this is my product wise revenue. Same, I can do it for other charts as well. This is age group distribution of revenue. So same, you can do it for here. This was country wise yearly revenue. So I think we should convert this to a bar chart. That would be better because the countries are different. So there's no point in getting a line chart because there's no point to connect countries, right? So we'll just convert this to a bar chart. And line charts are usually used for year-wise predictions. So if you want to see a progress of any data point year on year, then that will kind of justifies a line chart. So, right. So any questions? Should the chart be a bar diagram or a pie chart? That totally depends on what you want. If you want, like, there will be some graphs which won't be allowed on a particular kind of pivot table. That's because they don't support that structure of data. but whatever it is at this point you're getting, whatever you want, you can just make that graph. The choice of graphs is pretty vast and you can do lots of things with it. My point is just to show you how to make a dashboard, and with different kinds of graphs, you can control different parts of the data, and you can make a more effective dashboard with better charts. But this is just a demo sort of a thing. Okay, so let's move ahead. We have these graphs in front of us, and we've added some titles. This is country wise, and this is product wise. So you can edit the charts from the add chart element. Okay, this is country wise product. Okay, so once you have this ready with you, just we'll go to this part called slicers. Now slicers are sort of an interactive filter thing. They are used for dashboard purposes, and filters are used usually when, so by filter and slicer, I'll explain the difference. So this is a filter. This year 2015 is a filter here. So this filter is basically, it filters the current pivot table that you're seeing. But what a slicer does is, a slicer controls the entire pivot table. You don't have to select it any from here. You will see all the options in a single place. So I'll just explain. So let's say if I want to create a slicer here, let's say I have the revenue share of, so just look at your third pivot table, the age group wise distribution of revenue. You can just go to this pivot. This is year wise, right? And this is age wise. So I can just put a country slicer on this. If I want to see what is the age group level revenue in a particular country, then either I can add a filter here, which comes on the top, or I can add a slicer. It's mostly the same thing, but it's more kind of interactive. So I'll just right click on country. So first go and click somewhere in the pivot table so that you are selecting the right thing. And just right click on country, and there's an option called add a slicer. Just let me know if you are able to create this slicer. So I'll just repeat, just go to the pivot table, go to country, right click it, and you'll see it add as slicer. Just click that option and you'll see something like this. Yeah, so Slicer is also a part of later versions of Microsoft Excel, because it's a dashboard element. It got introduced a bit later. It doesn't really matter if you have filters working in your pivot. It doesn't really matter. It's just that slicers make your dashboard look a bit cleaner. So right. So if I go to if I go to my slicer, I'm seeing that some people have the slicer here. So if you see the slicer here, if you click on any particular country, it shows the Australia only. Let's say if I click on United States, it just shows the values of United States. So that way I can just control it. It's just like a filter, but it's more control. So filters are mostly used in case if you have an option of between slicer and filter. I suggest you should use filters only when the number of categories are like large. So here we just have 6 countries. If there would have been like 30 countries, then there wouldn't have been any sense in using a slicer, because you would have to scroll. This just makes it a bit neater. So if you don't have a slicer option, doesn't really matter. You still can control the graph from the buttons available here. So that's not really a big deal. But from a dashboarding point, in the later versions of Excel, slicer has become kind of an important thing. Now what I'll do is I'll just cut this slicer from here, Control X, and I'll just go and paste it here. So from here, I have a one slicer here with me. So if let's say if I want to see Germany, so my age group distribution changes just for Germany. This is for Canada. This is for Australia. As you can see, this graph, the third graph is changing because this slicer is connected to the third pivot table. Let me know if you can do this, then we'll go forward. Okay, so once you have this slicer option, go back to the pivot table, and you can simultaneously, to make your graph more interactive, you can add multiple slicers. So just if I go to the first pivot table, I can go and take a customer gender. We haven't really used gender till now. So let's just add a slicer of customer gender and just Control X and come and paste it here and Control V. So you have the slicer here. So the rightmost option is clear filter. So that basically brings out all the categories back. And if you want to select, let's say, if you want to select multiple things at once, just press Control and start clicking. So if I want Australia and Germany, and let's say US, I just press Control and I just keep on clicking. So this shows for 3 things. And if I want to remove the filter, basically, if I want all the countries back, I'll just create this. Same goes for gender. If I just want male interaction, this is the product-wise revenue. So this slicer controls this. This slicer controls this. So it's sort of a bit confusing. So we can take care of that as well. What you can do is just go to, if you click on one slicer, there's a option called slicer. Can you see that option? Right. So if you go into that slicer, you can just see there's an option called report connections. Just click on report connections and you'll see all the pivot tables that you drew. The reason I asked you to name your pivot tables is just because of this. So you can see the names of your pivot tables and it will be easy for you to see which pivot tables should be added. Because if it would have been pivot table 1, pivot table 2, pivot table 3, you would have to go back and forth between your sheet and this. If you name your pivot tables, that becomes easier for you to understand. So right now I'll just add it to all the 4 pivot tables. So now this slicer now controls everything. So let's say if I just do it for France, so this shows everything for France. And if I do it for Canada, it shows everything for Canada. Then United States and everything for United States. Right? So same if I do it for both the things. And I remove this filter and let's just add a bunch of slicers again and again. So let's just, we have added gender, we've added country. So let's add a product category as well. So if you've used any row in your as a field in your pivot tables, that doesn't matter. You can just add it as a slicer again. So that helps you basically control the entire dashboard. So it doesn't really matter if your slicer column is a part of a pivot or not. Even if it's a part, you can still control the dashboard through that. So let's say I have a pivot of products and I click it and I click on slicer. I add it to all the tables which I had. So now it controls everything. So if I just want accessories, this is my accessories. If I want bikes, this is my bikes. If I want bikes and clothing, this is bikes and clothing for all the. So you can basically control the entire graph through slicers. So this single window becomes a sort of an interactive dashboard. So Right. So let me know if you're able to do that, if your report connections part is working. So in the meanwhile, I'll just add a couple of more slices just for fun. So age group, so let's add age group as well. So add a slicer, and then I'll just cut paste this here. And I'll connect this to, let's say, report connections to every pivot table possible. And then male and female also, I think I forgot. Yeah. So so basically all the slicers control all the graphs now. So if I want just young adults, so I have product wise revenue of young adults, I have age group wise distribution. I have age group wise distribution is complete because it is age group wise, and I've just selected one age group, so it is completely this. So then I have country wise split of young adults revenue. Then I have country wise product distribution between young adults. And then if I clean this filter, then everything goes back. Right. So in there, you can get report connections option in different places. So in this version, there's an under slicer. In there, you can have slicer, and then there's a options button, and inside that you can see report connections. So it doesn't really matter if your version supports slicers, then you definitely can report connections. So that is right. So if you want two age groups, just press control and select those two age groups. Let's say I want 20. Let's say I want between adults and adults. So I'll just press control and click both of them. So I have for two age groups. So you just need to press control and select whatever you want, and then you can clean this up. So I'll just repeat. If you want to add, if you want to connect the slicers to all the pivot tables, just click on the slicer, go on slicer, and there it might be a report connections button outside, or there will be an options button, and inside that you will find report connections. And there you can select all the pivot tables that you've made, and you can just press OK, and it happens. Cool. So let's go forward. So we'll just add a couple of more slicers just to control the entire dashboard. We have, let's say, we have subcategory. Subcategory is a bit huge. Let's have product category. We have already added, I think, product category here. Did we? Yeah, we added product category. So we'll also add, let's also add year slicer. So if I want, I think I already added a year slicer. No, I did not. So there's a year slicer. I just paste it here. So I have my year slicer here. So in this way, I can just add it to all the pivot tables that I had. So this is the pivot tables. So basically, you have all the controls on your left side and you have all the graphs on your right side. You don't need to look at the data. You can just keep on clicking whatever you want to select. You can filter whichever way you like, and that way it becomes easier for you. Right. So let's just jump to some. So this is the part that we covered in dashboards. We have a couple of more things. It's called hierarchical behavior modeling. So let's open a new sheet once again. And if you want to look specifically at some numbers, then how do you go about it? So let's say I want to look at, so in the data, if you have a look, there are product categories and then there are subcategories. So if, let's say, hypothetically, my accessories division is not working well, the revenues are down, and I want to see which subcategory exactly it is that is not going down. So how do I go about it? How do I see how the subcategories are performing under each category? So this also involves pivot table and a bit of formatting. So one question for you: let's just make a pivot table displaying all the let's just make the same pivot table here, the one that you made here. This is basically okay, not the same one. We want to see. Okay, we want to do some profit analysis. Let's do some profit analysis. So you have your revenues here, you have your costs here, and you have your profit here. Let's see all the cost and all the revenue and all the profit of all product categories in a pivot table. So I'll just go about it. I'll just let's do it here. Whenever you're making a pivot table, just make sure to leave a couple of rows on the above side. Otherwise, it throws the error that there's no space to make a pivot table because it can't overlap. So that way, it becomes easier to navigate. So if I click on insert, I click on pivot tables. I go to my data. I want product wise, product category wise, cost, revenue, and profit. So I go product category here, and I want subcategory analysis as well. So I'll put subcategories here. Then I'll go to cost, then I'll go to revenue, and then I'll go to profit. Now this really doesn't convey much because this is a 6-year-long data. If I'm not wrong, I think we have. We have 2011 to 2016, so that's 6 years of data. There's no point in calculating profit for 6 years. So you can put a filter of year here, and you can also put a country filter because there's no point in calculating overall profit. You can have a country-wise filter too. So I have country and I have year. So let's see, I want 2016 and I want, let's say, Australia. So this is the entire profit and of Australia in 2016. So let me know if you have this table ready, then we'll go ahead. For those of you who've done it, don't collapse this product category. We will be reading because we wanted to do an analysis of which product, which subcategory is not doing fine. So we need this analysis for that. Okay, so let's create a new column here. So you can do some analysis on pivot tables itself. You just don't have to add rows from the data. You can add your own variables here as well. So let's add something called margin. So by margin, I mean the ratio between the profit and the cost. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, so right. So we have the profit here, we have the revenue, we have the cost. So let's just, so there's one interesting thing that happens if I want to find the margin. So margin is basically your ratio of profit and the cost, right? So if by any chance I want, if by any chance I want margin, I'll just do profit by cost, right? So this should be equal to D5 divided by B5. So if I do that, it's fine. And I can just extend it all through here. So just click this. When it becomes a plus, just drag it down till here, and you will find the margins here. Let's just put it bold. Let me know when you have the margins ready with you. Okay. So I'm just manually bolding the column, the ones which were aggregates, just for clarity. Right. So once you have this ready with you, you can just go to conditional formatting, go to color scales, and click on green. That's the first scale, or any other color scale that you want. Let's say I'll just do on this, and I'll drag this all the way down till this. Right. So if I right click this and I convert into percentages, so my margins, so this color code will show me which categories are not doing well. So actually this everything is doing pretty fine. So, and like there's no loss as such, but what we'll see is, so if you want, so bike racks are doing 121% in profit. That's pretty good. And this is 8% profit in caps. So there's not enough margin here. Okay, so there's one thing which happens if there might be a problem that some of you might be facing. If you're not getting these values, what you can do is just click on the pivot table, go on pivot table analyze, click on options, and click on options. This one, just go on options, and I think generate get pivot data should be selected. So uncheck this generate get pivot data. So what happens is this gets hard coded in your referencing. So that's why every value comes as a result of this row only. So if you're getting a division by zero error, I don't know how that's possible because there is no zero here. But in any case, if you're getting a zero error, what you should do is you can just add a if statement to this. This should be equal to, okay, I'll just post it here. That will be easier for you. Is equal to if my, you can just change the cell values as and when, as per your sheet. I'm just sharing the basic formula. Right. So you can just do this. You just have to see if it's equal to if the cost is zero, then just write zero. Otherwise, if it's not zero, then do the ratio. I think this should work fine. You won't get the zero error. Yeah. So how to color exactly? So if once you go here, just go to conditional formatting. You'll see color scales and just click any scale that you want. So this is basically a green, yellow, red color scale. Green is for very good and red is for very bad, and yellow is for neutral. So you will just get this scale here. So like 152% is there, so it's very good. Most of the profits are around the 100% mark, so they are around the neutral side, and the ones below 100, way below 100 are on the red side. So that is easy. So let me know if you have the color scales with you. Yeah, so if you want to convert this to a percentage, just right click this and you'll see a percentage icon here. Just click on the percentage icon. Otherwise, you can just click here and you'll see a percentage value here as well in the home section. In the number field, you can just select percentage from this drop down menu. And you can just drag this column along, this value along the whole column. You get the whole thing. Let me know if you have the color scales ready with you. We'll move quickly to our next module. So there's lots of things that you can do just for a demo perspective. If I want to see the profits, if I want to color code the profits in some manner, I'll just go here and I'll let's say I can do lots of things. So apart from color scales, you can add data bars, which basically show the strength of the value inside the cell itself. So let's say if I do this, if I add any random data bar and then I drop it down. Okay, if I drop it down to this thing. Okay, it's showing an error. If you just let me see. Yeah. So basically, if you just look at it, every profit value just comes as a part of this thing. So just select on this thing and all cells showing profit. So you can extend this to the whole, the data bars thing comes here. So you can simultaneously do this for everything. You can just go to conditional formatting and you can do data bars. You can just take this and you can just extend it to all the cells. So you'll get this. So that sort of gets the relative strength in another way. The color codes are not the only ways to see the relative strength. You can also have these data bars. So let's just name this as details. You can do this for any pivot table. You can just a product wise category. If I want to see revenues, if I want to see something else, if I want to see revenues across age groups, I can just change this and I can just do the same thing over and over again. And I can have my data, the color coding or the data bars ready with me, right? The another analysis that is a bit interesting and that adds a lot of value to your reporting is, the trend. So the trend which I talk. So in the dashboard, if you have a look, line charts, as I said, is better for a time series sort of a thing. So let's just build a pivot table for time series and let's just make some charts out of it. So we'll just go this towards this again, and instead of sum of revenue cost, we'll have the years here. So you can aggregate the revenues for all the categories year-wise, and there's no need to add the margin. It's not required. So let's just start with a new pivot table where I'll just reference my data again, and I'll have the product categories, and I'll have the subcategories, and then I'll have the year in the columns because I want to see the year-over-year progression of revenue. So I'll add the values as revenue. So here's the thing, and then just for my understanding, I can add country as well, and I can add customer, the age groups, and whatever filters I can add, I'll just go about adding them. And then there's gender. Let's add gender as well. So you have a basic pivot table here in front of you. So we just want to see the trend. We are not interested in the grand totals here. So if you just go and click on grand total and just right click, and there's an option called remove grand total. Let me know if you are able to remove grand total. I'll remove it the row as well. So just go and click and remove the grand totals. We don't need it for this exercise. I'll just so just to repeat, you can just make a pivot table, and if you have the grand total values here, just go and right click that thing and you will find a grand total, remove grand total field option. If you think if I want to bring it back, I'll just okay. So you don't need it, so just remove it from here and here, right? So if I want a year-on-year analysis of my revenues, let's say, so I have I want a year-on-year analysis on my profits. So 2012 to 2016, let's just select these rows. Okay, don't select these rows. Just first of all, let's select these the values of all the categories. Just or okay, we'll do this exercise a bit later. Let's click here and let's select this first row. So if you can select all the values of the first row, you'll be able to see this. I have all the revenues for accessories in from 2016. And let's say I go to insert, and then there's an option of sparklines. In sparklines, if I click a sparkline, it tells me B9 to G9. Yeah, so that's the range that I've selected. And I want it on the location here, let's say. So I'll just select it here. And just do a bit of changes. I think I can do this, and then just the high point. And then I can drag it all the way to see the revenue trends for all my categories. So this is a sort of a miniature way to see how your categories are performing. And this looks a bit untidy because we have revenues missing here. So what we'll do is we'll go to design and we'll edit data and hidden in empty cells, and then we'll do it 0. So have uniform lines for everything. So just to repeat, I think I went a bit fast here. So what you can do is just select the entire row here, go to insert. In Spark Lines, there's a section called Spark Lines. Just select line and select whatever sort of line you want. Then if you click on that line, you'll have a Spark Line option here. You can select the style and you can display what kind of pointers you want. So, like I have removed the markers, but I've kept the high points. So I want to see in which year when was my highest revenue. So this just shows the point in which my highest revenue was achieved. Let me know if you have these Spark Lines ready with you. Yeah, so the filters, yeah. So here are the filters that I have. You have country, age group, and gender. That doesn't really matter. It's just for a better understanding. If I want to see, let's say, for United States, these are the spark lines showing me the United States change of revenue, adults. I want it for all the. I would just want to see how much males. It's deviating more with me, males or females, so the graphs change. As per that, if I want, I can select all. I can remove the filter. Yeah. So. Right. So if you have these things ready with you, let's just go on a bit of more on the modeling side. Sorry, on the visualization side. Sorry. So I'll just select this row and I'll just copy it here. And I'll select 2012 to 2016. I want to see the change on year by year, so I haven't selected 2011. So here I'll assign, I want to see the margins. So I want to see how much did my revenue change? What was the increase in the revenue as compared to last year. So on for a year-to-year analysis, you have to compare with each preceding year, right? So I'll just go to 2012. I'll go equal to, and since I have zero values here as well, I already posted the formula in the chat. You can still do it again. You just type if, go to the revenue of 2012, and just write this. If this is not equal to, sorry, go to 2011. Sorry, yeah, because we have to divide by 2011. So if this is not equal to 0, then we want this minus, we want the 2012 revenue minus the 2011 revenue. I'll just manually add some parentheses here because I want to divide it by the revenue of 2011, and this is divided by B9. So I manually wrote B9 because I don't know why I couldn't navigate it with my arrow keys. If this is not equal to 0, then I want this fraction. If this is equal to 0, then I just want 0 there. So I'll just do it this, and I can extend it for all, and then I can extend it for all this way. So if you want the formula, I'm just posting the formula again for your reference. Just make sure to add just make sure to change the B9 and C9 values to whatever 2012 and 2011 thing is here. So, right. So I have the percentage changes of revenue on a year-to-year basis, right? So what I can do is I can, again, I can convert this to a percentage, but I won't convert it to a percentage now. I have the numeric values. Let's just do another conditional formatting. I just select 0 here. First of all, let me know if you have these values with you. Then we'll go ahead. So just for a better looking thing, I'll just color code this a bit. Same for here, so that I know what I'm looking at. Okay, so if you have it, just go to the first 0 and go on conditional formatting. Sorry, go on conditional formatting, and there's an icon sets. Just click the first icon set that you see. You will find an arrow here, and then you can drag it here, and then you can drag it vertically. Sorry, so I'll just drag it here as well till the end. Right. So this shows me the movement of profit, but I think this is not right because it's showing that 0 means gone down. So you can basically edit these values, the arrows corresponding to the values. So what I do is I can just go to conditional formatting, and I can just click on manage rules. And if you can click, so just tell me once you have these arrows ready, then I'll let you know how to format it. This is a bit of this is a bit tricky. So okay, so fine. So just click on this thing, go to conditional formatting again, then click on manage rules. You'll see this dialog box, and then you can click on edit rule. In edit rule, you can, oh, sorry, not the edit rule. Yeah. So here you'll see something like this, right? It shows that green is that the value is given a green arrow when it is greater than or equal to 67, and this is percent. So first of all, I want to change this to number. This will be easier. So if it is greater than 0, I'll put it. If it's positive, that's green. If it's 0, then it's neutral. If it's less than 0, then it's negative. So just change this to number and put 0 here. So once you do this and you click apply, you'll have a, no, that's something went. I'll just do that again. I think I need neutral at 0. So Okay, so just change this greater than equal to greater than, because you want neutral to be at 0. So you can't have the 0 value included in the green arrow. So I just click on apply again. And I just, okay, cool. Right, so here are my rules ready. So every 0 you have a neutral thing, and then you can convert this to, right click this and convert this to percentages. So you have percentage changes, and you will see which categories are not doing well. This is sort of a very data and graphical combination of showing an analysis. So for example, minus 38%. So this is road bikes. So road bikes, and if I have any year, and just in the United States for 2014, my road bikes revenue fell down by 33%. So this is a very easy way to tell your insights about the data. So let me know if you're able to do it. So these are minor tweaks that you can do to make your data look more enhanced, and you can add richness to your analysis. That helps in better presentation. Right. So if you just look at your entire sheet, you have a data here from which you created a bunch of pivot tables to see the values. You have a dashboard which you can control. You have some detailed analysis of your uh, 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 profits and margins, and then you have your growth. So let's just name this sheet as growth. So yeah, so you have a entire analysis ready in this same Excel sheet with different things attached, with different parts of the problem conveyed in different ways. And you can use what we've used mostly is pivot tables. Pivot tables are very key elements for displaying any analysis, because in order to show that something is changing, you have to show it with respect to something else. So pivot tables allow you that flexibility. Then in dashboards, you saw the slicers through which you can control, and this sort of makes it very interactive, and it makes it very presentable as well. Also, one thing I forgot: if you go back to the dashboard sheet, and if you look at since you have the slicers here, you don't need these small buttons that you see, the sum of revenue, the year, and everything. So what you can do is just select this chart and click on format, and so not on format, just select this chart, go to pivot analyze, and this was on design. Right, you can actually remove these things. I just can't find where to remove it. There is an option to remove the buttons on the chart as well. So, okay. Um, chart. Yeah, the field buttons, exactly. So if you go to the field buttons, and then you can do hide all. So that way you can do that. Thanks to Mudit. Yeah. So just click on field buttons, or you can just click on the field buttons on the top of the part. So you can just remove all the icons, and you have a cleaner look of your charts, and you can just control it through the slicers here. You can add more and more slicers of all the variables if you want. I mean, that's not recommended, just the ones that you would like to have. Add all the variables here, and this you can check the variance of these charts. So this is your dashboard, and you can definitely add more graphs. To add more graphs, you can have more pivot tables here, and once you have those graphs here, your dashboard will definitely expand. I just close this for a better view. So this is the look of your dashboard. Then for a detailed analysis, you can definitely add more pivot tables to see, where your categories are not performing well. So in US, let's say if I want to see how my categories performed in 2016, then I have these values. And if I want to see the year-of-year growth, then I have this thing. So it's mostly pivot tables and some formatting and some charts that you have to take care of. And I think you'll be fine. So I think that's pretty much all for the course. And yeah, and we can take some questions now. So other than pivot tables, what else can be used in analysis? I think so. By analysis, you mostly mean change of your target variable. So my target variable is either revenue or cost or profit with respect to some other thing. So it's mostly pivot tables that you have to use. Otherwise, what you can do is you can go without using the pivot tables. You can just go into the Excel table uh, and then you can just filter it as per your requirement, and then probably. But this functionality is very easily available in pivot tables. So that is one thing. Thanks a lot to Nandini and Manish as well. Okay, so when we create a new column to a pivot table, the formula does not work by autofill. Okay, so if it does not work by autofill, what you can do is just go to the pivot table, select this, go to analyze, and there's an options. So you just look at this option. If generate pivot, get pivot data is selected, this should not be selected. So this should not look as tick mark here. If it coded, then you can't change that. Then that drag and extend thing doesn't work. Just unselect this and then do the drag and drop, and it will work. Well, you have to Anurag, you have to talk to co-learn people. I think they best know whether this will be recorded and shared. So, any other questions that you guys have? So, Excel is actually essentially. So, Sneha has asked what other tools can be used for analysis besides Excel. So, for basic analysis such as this, I think Excel is pretty good. So, there are two problems that come with Excel. One is that if you start taking huge amounts of data, so here we only have 1 lakh rows. If you take, let's say, 100 million rows, then Excel will definitely slow down. And for that, you need to have Python or you need to have R. You can also do that in MATLAB, but the language is a bit tricky. Python and R are the most versatile used tools in data analysis fields. But you can also do machine learning stuff there. I mean, in Excel, it's a bit difficult to do regression and classification analysis. So those are some advanced parts of data science, and Excel is not really the tool for that. Just for a factor analysis kind of a thing, and for small data sets, Excel is, I think, the ideal tool to go forward with. But if you have Python and you can use the pandas and the sklearn library, and it's pretty good as well. Though you will have a bit of difficulty in drawing such good-looking tables and infographics. So from that point, I think Excel adds a lot of flexibility in your own hands and with very easy to learn tricks. Sorry, I won't be covering VBA. I myself am not trained in VBA. So yeah. So Paridhi is asking, why did we edit the data while making spark lines? We did not edit the data. We did not edit the data at all. We just edited this whole thing. We wanted a spark line of this row so that we can drag and drop the whole thing. We did not edit anything. Like, this is just the sum of revenue. SQL is not good for data analysis. SQL gives you aggregate values. If you want pivot tables, if you want the numerical part of the data, SQL does a very good job. It's very fast, it's very efficient, but you won't be able to get the visualization part of it and the the whole interactive things. It's a query based language, right?